These three people experienced real life miracles, and each one of them just gets crazier. In 1999, a woman fell through the ice and was trapped underneath it for over 30 minutes. According to every rule in medicine, she should have been dead. Her name was Dr. Anna Bagenholm, and her body temperature dropped to 56 degrees. There was no pulse, no heartbeat, and she was completely frozen for over 80 minutes. Hours later in the ER, her heart suddenly started beating again, and she woke up with zero brain damage, which is completely unheard of. But what makes this even crazier is that one of the doctors said that it felt like something was working through his hands, and like he wasn't the one that was bringing her back. They just called this a miracle and moved on. And trust me, God's miracles get so much better than that. Because in 2024, an agnostic young man named Evan was diagnosed with PTSD, depression, and permanent brain damage after a motorcycle accident. A few weeks went by and his depression kept getting worse and worse. So at the height of his depression, he just decides to do the only thing he can think of and turn to God. So he downloads this Bible app called Haven, which put a Bible verse on his lock screen. The very next morning, the verse on his phone read, "I will restore your health and heal your wounds." He prayed those exact words, and 3 days later, he was fully healed. It was one of the only ever recorded cases of someone recovering from permanent brain damage. But probably the craziest one of them all is in 1996, when a priest in Buenos Aires had a close encounter with Jesus Christ himself, or at least a part of him, because this priest dropped a communion wafer during Mass. It fell to the floor, so he just discarded it. He put it in a glass of water in a box and set it aside. Next time he opened the box, though, this communion wafer had turned into a fleshy, bloody mass that just immediately made him squirm. Years later, they would study the blood on this mass, and they found that the DNA of this blood matched the heart muscle of a living human being, with very unique characteristics that matched with the one and only Jesus of Nazareth. And on a side note, after hearing the story of Evan, I did get the Haven app for myself, and it's actually a pretty great app that has gotten me to study scripture more than anything else, and it strengthened my faith, so I can highly recommend it to anyone that's interested.